We've all seen it happen. The kid who absolutely lives for a sport suddenly just wants to quit. It's a massive problem in youth sports, but what if the reason isn't what we've all been told? Today, we're going to break down why so many young athletes walk away and explore a whole new coaching philosophy that could be a total game changer.
It really all boils down to this one phenomenon that researchers have a name for, the participation cliff. And yeah, it's a term that gets right to the heart of this huge drop-off we see in youth sports.
You see, this isn't just a random thing. It happens like clockwork, right around the ages of 13 to 15. It's this critical window where their enjoyment just totally tanks, and a huge number of kids drop out of sports for good. And it's not just some phase. It's a predictable and, frankly, a preventable pattern.
But here's where it gets really interesting. The real cause isn't just burnout or kids finding new hobbies. Nope, it's often built right into the very way we coach them. And that means the solution isn't some big mystery. It's a powerful shift in our approach that can keep kids in the game and, actually loving it.
Okay, so let's dive into where things typically go wrong. And it often starts with a classic practice session. So a lot of the time, the main culprit is that traditional one-size-fits-all coaching method. Think about the classic cricket net session. You've got players lining up to bat or bowl. On the surface, it looks orderly, efficient, right? But for a team with a mix of abilities, it's actually a recipe for total disengagement. On one side, you have that net practice. It just strips away all the context of a real game. There are no fielders, no running, no strategy. All it does is brutally expose who's good and who's not. But on the other side, a game-based scenario is naturally inclusive. It builds what coaches call game sense, that knack for making smart decisions under pressure. And it lets every single player find a way to contribute. So for a newer player who's facing a much faster, more skilled bowler in a net, the psychological impact is huge. The challenge isn't just hard, it's completely overwhelming. Learning just grinds to a halt, and real panic can set in. They're just left feeling incompetent and totally exposed. And here's the thing, it's a lose-lose situation. That exact same drill also hurts the advanced player. To avoid, injuring or terrifying their teammate, they have to slow way down, which compromises their own technique and rhythm. So nobody improves, and both players walk away frustrated. So if that's the problem, what's the solution? Well, this is where modern coaching comes in with a totally different toolbox. It's called the constraints-led approach, or CLA, and the core idea is incredibly powerful. Instead of dictating one perfect technique, coaches design problems for players to solve by cleverly tweaking the constraints of a drill. Things like the rules, the equipment, or even the size of the playing area. Here's how this plays out in real time. For an advanced player, you might make the rules harder. Say they can only score in a very narrow zone. Meanwhile, for a novice, you might give them double points just for making contact. You could change the equipment. A narrower bat for the expert, a softer ball for the beginner. All of a sudden, everyone is in the same drill, but each person is facing their own personalized, perfectly tuned challenge. Now, how do you remember all this in the heat of a session? That's where the STEP principle comes in. It's a super simple acronym for coaches. Just think about adjusting the space, the task, the equipment, or the people to scale the challenge up or down for any player. So, we've got the what and the how, but to really make this stick, we have to understand the psychological why. Why does this approach keep kids motivated when the old way just doesn't? The answer lies in something called self-determination theory. It's a major theory in psychology that basically says for us humans to stay motivated at anything, sports, school, work, we need to have 3 core psychological needs met. Just 3. That's it. It's not a long, complicated list, but these 3 needs are absolutely fundamental. When a coaching environment fails to meet them, that's when you see motivation completely fall apart. And let's be clear, these are needs, not just nice-to-haves or wants. They are the essential psychological ingredients for creating a positive, engaging environment that kids actually want to come back to week after week. So what are they? First is autonomy, which is the need to have a sense of choice and control. Second is competence, the need to feel like you're effective and actually improving. And third is relatedness, the need to feel connected to others. The constraints-led approach directly feeds all of these needs by offering choices, creating achievable challenges, and fostering teamwork over stardom. So what does this all look like when you put it together? Let's wrap this up by challenging our idea of what a good practice actually looks like. A session that's built on these modern principles, well, it won't look like those neat, orderly lines of kids just waiting for their turn. It might look a little chaotic, a little messy. You might have multiple games happening at once with different equipment and different rules for different groups. But this mess isn't a sign that a coach has lost control. It's the exact opposite. It's the sound of kids who are deeply engaged, who are actively solving problems and learning from each other. It's the look of a practice where everyone, from the star player to the total beginner, is being challenged and included. And that leaves us with a final, really powerful question to think about. What if we shifted the entire goal? Instead of using youth sports as a filter to find the one-in-a-million superstar, what if we focused on creating an experience that makes every single kid feel like a valuable, competent, and connected member of the team? Because that, according to the research, is how you fix the participation cliff.